Tisk, tisk, tisk. But yeah, we're gonna get into these drones. That's been over New Jersey / New York. It's crazy.
They're just pacing back and forth, going very slow.
You're joining me by squinting at your screen right now, and you're seeing what I'm seeing. Sort of a twinkling light in the sky. Well, these are just a few of the dozens of mysterious drones spotted circling above New Jersey. Now, the FBI is investigating. Governor Phil Murphy says the drones are hard to track because, quote, the minute you get your eyes on them, they go dark. CBS News national investigative correspondent Tom Hansen joins us now. Tom, what do we know about these drones and where they came from as we squint to see what they are and then they disappear and go dark?
Yeah, those are some really eye-opening videos that we're seeing come out on social media. You know, these drones vary in shape and size, and while we don't know much about where they come from or what, if any, risk they pose, what we do know is that they have a lot of people talking in this community, Mendham, New Jersey. And I actually want to bring in a barista at Simple Coffee. A lot of people are coming in here. His name is John, and they're telling him what they're seeing. And John, in fact, has seen these drones himself as well. So, John, what are people saying here?
Yeah, no, it's definitely interesting. I know in my own personal experience, I was driving home from a friend's house, passing by Flanders Valley Golf Course, and I saw a drone that looked like the size of a small car, just hovering right above the golf course. And I tried to get a picture of it, but you know how it is, the lights, it's kind of hard to get a true image out of it. But it's honestly kind of been a little comical too, as well, because people come in here with all their conspiracies and all their own ideas of what could be happening. And it is nice in a coffee shop environment to talk about it. And
so you were telling me that some of these drones are as large as a car, some are as small as the more conventional drones. What do they sound like and what are they moving like when you do see them?
See, sometimes it's hard to really get a true idea of what they sound like because some of them are very high up, looks like 10,000 feet, and then others could be around 500 feet. So the larger ones, I have seen stories and I have heard that it could sound like a helicopter. While the small ones, when they're high up, you can't really hear anything at all.
Yeah, and then what are people saying? Are people concerned? Are they fascinated? What's the general sense you're getting from people who are coming into your coffee shop?
I would say probably a mixture of fascination and concern. I feel as if definitely the older generation is more concerned with an alien invasion.
Eating a security threat to local communities, although that has not done much to ease concerns amongst the...
My house, right now. What is that?
It's the million-dollar question baffling New Jersey residents looking skyward.
They're just pacing back and forth, going very slow.
Since last month, dozens of drones mysteriously hovering in the skies at night. Near Morris County, the FAA has now ordered 2 temporary flight restrictions prohibiting drones over this military base and Trump National Golf Club after receiving reports of unexplained activity. Today, Homeland Security and state police met with some New Jersey officials, including Mayor Jim Maley.
I truly don't believe they have any idea where the drones are coming from.
Many still have questions, including Congressman Jeff Van Drew, who says individuals with high security clearance have a theory about where the drones come from.
Their concern is that a mothership has left from Iran weeks ago, coinciding about the time somewhere along the area of the United States. It doesn't mean they're right off the coast.
But in a briefing today, Pentagon officials dismissed the claim outright.
We have no evidence that these activities are coming from a foreign entity or the work of an adversary.
In Mendham, New Jersey, Olivia DiMattio's coffee shop is right near the sensitive locations where the drones have been spotted.
Why is all these coffee shops?
Things? You know, are they different sizes?
So what are all these coffee shops?
Plane went off in the distance. One, where's the other guys? Oh, here's the other one, right over the library. They're just pacing back and forth, going very slow.
Now that's crazy.
So that's 2, 3. See how low they are? They go right below the tree line. This one's just coming up over. Where's that other one? So you can see how low they are. It's like right above the trees. I think I counted about 3.
Characteristic triangle lights on the back.
Sabrina, can you tell me what the Pentagon is doing to address this issue of drone sightings over New Jersey? It's near sensitive installations. The FBI is involved. What is the Pentagon doing?
Sure. So at this time, aware of those drone sightings that have been reported, at this time we have no evidence that these activities are coming from a foreign entity or the work of an adversary. We're going to continue to monitor what is happening, but at no point were our installations threatened when this activity was occurring.
Can you rule out that these are American drones or U.S. military drones?
These are not U.S. military drones. Again, this is being investigated by local law.
And that doesn't make sense. I think she fucked up saying this. I think she talked too much, because it's like, how isn't this other foreign entities, but it's not U.S. military drones? 'Cause that's what she said, right?
We're going to continue to.
The FBI is involved. What is the Pentagon doing?
Sure. So at this time, aware of those drone sightings that have been reported, at this time we have no evidence that these activities are coming from a foreign entity.
Like, so it's not U.S. military, but it's not a foreign entity. So where are they coming from?
What did you say, nigga?
Like, I don't know. I think she messed up on that one.
Or the work of an adversary. We're going to continue to monitor what is happening, but at no point were our installations threatened when this activity was occurring.
Nice.
Can you rule out that these are American drones or U.S. military drones?
These are not U.S. military drones. Again, this is being investigated by local law enforcement. What our initial assessment here is that these are not drones or activities coming from a foreign entity or adversary.
Representative Jeff Van Drew, who is a Republican from New Jersey, was just on the air saying that Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones, and that mothership is off the coast of the east coast of the United States. Is there any truth to that?
There is not any truth to that. There is no Iranian ship off the coast of the United States, and there's no so-called mothership launching drones towards the United States.
We want to update you on a story we've been following. Those drones that have been spotted over New Jersey in recent weeks, the Pentagon weighed in yesterday saying they don't appear to be coming from overseas, but many state and local officials are on high alert. Let's bring in CBS News correspondent Tom Hansen, who's here in Studio 55 with us live in person, because you're usually traveling all around the country reporting. So let's talk about these drones. What are some of the leads about where they might be coming from?
Yeah, well, it's really anyone's guess at this point, Vlad. It's still a mystery. There's a lot of speculation out there, and that fosters an environment for a lot of rumors. One Republican congressman, Jeff Van Drew, we spoke to yesterday, he has been pushing these claims that these drones could be linked to Iran, could be being launched off of some kind of mothership off the coast or in the middle of the ocean. Now, we asked him what, if any, concrete evidence he has for that. He didn't put any forward. The Pentagon, as you mentioned, denied those claims outright. And so this is still very much a mystery. A lot of frustration around the lack of answers as well. There was a closed-door meeting yesterday amongst mayors across the state of New Jersey. One mayor who we spoke to as well also told me that the contents of that meeting could have been wrapped up in an email. So they walked out of there with no answers, and we're still looking for clues as to where and who is sending these drones.
So interesting. I thought the best part of your piece from the evening news last night was when you spoke to a woman who owned like a shop or something, and she described the size of these drones, because when I first started seeing this story, I just thought to myself, well, there are drones flying all over the place all the time. But she seemed to indicate that they were quite large.
Oh yeah, she said that they were the size of a small car. They were flying at least 1,000 feet above the ground, and they were still visible. Now these drones are coming out at night. They're being spotted at night at least. And that's because of all the lights that are attached to them, which are red, green, and gold, according to people that we've interviewed. So the way that she characterized it was this was not some instance where some kids bought drones on Amazon and are flying them around to wreak havoc, that this is something much larger than that. But still, a lot to be seen here. One thing that we can say is that all the officials we've spoken to are urging the government to safely take down one of these drones, if that's even possible, to get some answers.
So your live shot yesterday was in front of a particular location, because if you're watching this broadcast and you're somewhere else in the country, you're like, why Jersey? Yeah. Where were you last night broadcasting from to wrap up your piece?
Picatinny Arsenal, which is a military base that is responsible for manufacturing munitions that go out to every branch of the U.S. military. And so that's one of the concerns here. These drones are not just flying aimlessly. They are being spotted precariously close to sensitive government sites, and that has people on edge.
All right, Tom Hansen for...
No, that's crazy. 4 hours ago. Oh, was this? No. I clicked this one. That was 9 hours ago. Let's see. If there's any new news.
Tonight, an aerial mystery that's been described as unnerving is growing. The FBI now investigating multiple reports of unidentified drones flying over New Jersey, some as large as a small car. And today, a large drone seen here, also described as the size of a small vehicle, flying over a California event where Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin was in attendance.
More drones in the sky, Rockaway, New Jersey.
The New Jersey drones, initially spotted in the northern part of the state, now being reported further south. Sightings also now being reported in New York City. Staten Island Borough President Vito Fossella calling on the FAA and FBI to expand their investigation.
People have seen a number of 15-foot or so wingspan drones hovering around. In this day and age, I just don't think that that's something you take lightly. If it is, nothing to be concerned about. Someone should come forward and say that.
Residents alarmed by the number of sightings.
One would go over, and then the next one would come, and then the next one, and the next one. So it wasn't like there would be 20 coming at one time.
Jonathan Lace, a pilot himself, shot this shocking video overnight of multiple car-sized drones near the Essex County, New Jersey airport. So concerned by what he saw, he contacted the FAA.
What's been probably the most alarming thing to you? As a pilot, I can tell you that, when you're about to land, the last thing you want to see is something hovering in front of you.
What is that?
With many questions and few answers, residents and officials alike on high alert as the mystery in the sky deepens. George Solis, NBC News.
This is over my house right now.
Tonight, as mysterious drones continue to pop up in the skies over the East Coast.
Now it's hovering over my other neighbor's house.
Lawmakers in Washington are growing frustrated that the Biden administration isn't explaining what they are.
You see the internet's running wild with conspiracy theories, and do you feel like the administration needs to fill that void?
Well, I think they should get out something as quickly as they can.
Theories are running wild about what the flying objects may be. One New Jersey congressman said they were being launched by an Iranian mothership off the Atlantic coast.
Man, that's mad random. He must have read that somewhere. That's not something you just say. Like, yeah, Iran. Like, which also is concerning because if Iran was able to get that close to launch drones, they're not necessarily off the coast, but if they're close enough to get close enough to the United States, have a boat out in the United States and launch drones, that's a real national security problem.
The White House today saying an investigation is underway, but there is no cause for alarm.
Right now, there's just no indication that this is some sort of foreign malign activity or, in fact, even criminal.
Adding the objects being seen in the
it's not criminal? Or this is, bro, like, politicians just be talking sometimes, yo. Like, I swear, they really, like, they just be talking. Because that doesn't make sense. How are drones flying over, like, military bases and stuff like that? How is that not potentially criminal? Or, like, how is that not something to worry about? Y'all don't know what these are. Y'all don't know what the drones are, where they're from. Y'all are saying that they're not from the United States. So if they're not from the United States, y'all don't know where they're from, I'm concerned. I think this is illegal. Like, bro, what are you saying, bro? That just doesn't, like, 2 + 2 = 17 right now, how they're
in the sky aren't even necessarily drones.
It appears that many of the reported sightings are actually manned aircraft that are being operated lawfully.
And while the Pentagon has said they aren't military drones and they do not come from a foreign threat, senators like New York's Kirsten Gillibrand are demanding more information.
We cannot simply say, well, they're not causing any harm. Well, do we know that? What are they doing? And who's sending them?
The FBI.
That's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Where they from? What they about? What they... People get on my nerves. Politicians.
Is leading this investigation, getting support from both the FAA and DHS, but none of these agencies are revealing any information as to what their probes have discovered.
Because they don't know
the
nothing.
Mystery of what's up in the sky continues. Lester.
Okay, right. Thanks for watching.
Why can't they shoot down drones?
Let's talk about these drones. That black blob in the night sky is a drone, a good-sized one, though it's hard to tell without other objects close in the frame to compare it to. It's one of dozens that have been spotted recently in the skies over New Jersey and New York, in the New York area, including a military research facility around the Trump property in Bedminster as well. Today, the White House sought to downplay rumors.
Definitely downplay.
We have no evidence at this time that the reported drone sightings pose a national security or a public safety threat, or have a foreign nexus.
Security officials held a private briefing today for members of Congress, some of whom are demanding more in the way of answers.
I've been a little frustrated. There hasn't been enough transparency, letting people know what's happening. It's
not Corey.
Allowing a lot of potentially misinformation to spread, or at least fear. We should know what's going on over our skies, and I've asked for a lot more information.
They should be shot down if necessary, because they're flying over sensitive areas, whether it's planes that may be jeopardized or security at military bases. We ought to do a much better job. The Biden administration ought to be acting more aggressively against these drones.
Well, Senator Booker, who you heard there a moment ago, along with his New Jersey and New York Senate colleagues, sent a letter today to the heads of DHS, FBI, and FAA requesting a briefing on the matter. More on this all now from CNN's Omar Jimenez.
They need to shoot that shit down.
So people have been seeing drones. Don't worry, this is one of ours. But we've been going around talking to people in this northern New Jersey area, and really almost everyone you talk to has either seen one or knows someone who's seen one.
What are they? Who's sending them up there? What are they doing there? Why doesn't anybody know what they are? You know, and why New Jersey? It didn't sound like an airplane, which is why I went out and looked at it.
It was loud, but not any louder than the airplanes, because the airplanes are loud.
Yeah, the jets are loud.
And there were jets flying over at the same time. They actually flew in a circle around our building, both of them, and then across, and then disappeared. It still could be somebody playing a trick, but which is unlikely because they are so big.
Right.
Yeah, it's not a 10-year-old flying it, you know.
Yeah.
I'll just let the people that are trying to figure it out figure it out.
But to this point, no one has, at least publicly. The FBI is now investigating weeks of reported drone sightings over New Jersey. That's according to a document given to state and local officials. As a growing number of people report seeing drones, some described as 6 feet in diameter, flying in the skies. And there have been questions about when they first started popping up. Reports seem to vary, but the Picatinny Arsenal, which is a military installation in northern New Jersey, has confirmed sightings in the area going back to November 13th. And countrywide...
God damn. So since November, bro, that's a whole month A whole month of drones flying over military or near military installations to New York and New Jersey, and they don't know? Nah, that's crazy. That's crazy, bro. That's unacceptable.
This isn't the first time mysterious drones or something.
Now peep this. Peep this. They can figure out who killed a billionaire CEO in a couple of days. Fingerprints on water bottles, all that. But they can't figure out where these drones are coming from in a month?
Okay, maybe not.
Like, what are y'all saying, bro? What are y'all saying, bro? Like
it have been spotted around military installations.
So,
crazy.
specifically, Langley Air Force Base did experience incursions of unauthorized unmanned aerial systems last year in December 2023. The number of those UAS incursions did fluctuate on any given day, but they didn't appear to exhibit any hostile intent.
And while with the New Jersey reported sightings, the White House says many have actually been manned aircraft, some witnesses disagree.
They'll just change direction, like go from like 90 to like 270 degrees, just like fly different directions, and planes obviously can't do that. Nothing during the day, just completely at night. It's odd.
And public officials are starting to get frustrated.
They're creating so much fear and uneasiness in the public.
There's no excuse for us not to know at this point. Now is not the time to mess around. It is a time for action. We're past the point of let's pretend it's not a big deal and try to keep everybody calm while we figure it out. It's really concerning. And quite frankly, it's not acceptable.
Now, the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI are throwing a little bit of cold water on this. They said in a joint statement that based on what they've seen so far, they don't see any national security threat or anything like that, but also that they are investigating whether these reported drone sightings are actually drones or whether they're being mistakenly identified for manned aircraft. And they did say many of the cases that they've investigated have actually turned out to be manned aircraft. That said, they are continuing to investigate, and without a definitive answer
Look at his face.
to this point, especially over reported sightings that
He's
stand
not
back
going
to
for it.
midpoint of last month, it's left this vacuum where a lot of questions have come up, and a lot of questions from people who are upset that there is not a definitive answer to this point, Anderson.
All right, Omar Jimenez, thanks very much. John Miller is back. Also joining us is CNN Senior National Security Analyst Julia Kayyem. She's a former Assistant Secretary.
Because of the size. I mean, people have described these things as being the size of a small automobile. So as Omar pointed out in his piece, that's not the drone we bought for our kids or a hobbyist necessarily. It looks expensive. The second thing is that when they've been encountered...
Look like the damn bat plane. Low key.
No, the idea is like, where are they coming from? And they're flying in groups. And if they're coming from offshore, the New Jersey State Police had helicopters literally laying offshore waiting for this because it was night after night after night. And when they chased them, they shut off their lights, the drones shut off their lights, and increased speed and disappeared. So it sounds like, it feels like, whoever it is definitely...
Wait, so he's saying that they seen
the
him.
drones shut off their lights, and night after night. They're coming from offshore. The New Jersey State Police had helicopters literally laying offshore waiting for this because it was night after night after night. And when they chased them, they shut off their lights, the drones shut off their lights, and increased speed and disappeared. So it sounds like, it feels like, whoever it is definitely not looking to be encountered, detected, seen, or explained.
Juliet, I mean, does it surprise you we don't have a definitive answer yet on the origin of these things, considering
This is crazy.
all the money that's invested in national security and protecting U.S. airspace?
Yeah. Yeah, and particularly airspace. I mean, an entire system of control from NORTHCOM to NORAD to the FAA to regulations regarding drones and the ability to fly certain unmanned vehicles, depending on their size, their capacity, and everything else. This whole regulatory system exists. And the answer we've gotten back is, well, it's likely not drones. And so That's what the government is now saying, is that most of them are manned aircraft. But what John is saying is then that would suggest that all of these eyewitness accounts and all of these videos that are showing multiple drones of large size that are moved, try to avoid detection, we're still not getting a great explanation. Look like a drone, but it's actually an aircraft. But there's too many eyewitness accounts.
John, I mean,
to say it's just a manned aircraft.
Yeah, have we seen this before? I mean, were there other incidents in other places?
I mean, in Norfolk, Virginia, in late 2023, you had 17 days of this over military locations, naval locations by the shore.
So they just letting this shit, bro. There's some shit about to happen, yo. I'm telling you, bro. Wait until next month when Trump get in office. Some shit going to pop off.
Figured out?
No, not figured out. And I mean, to Juliet's point, you talked to, there's 110 mayors, you know, that were at this conference where they did the briefing, and their residents are angry about the government response saying, well, they were fixed-wing aircrafts. It's like, fixed-wing aircrafts don't stop and hover and then go dark and take off. They're a little insulted about the idea that they're not being believed.
Do we even know how to, I mean, obviously drones have been a huge part of the war in Ukraine. Has anti-drone technology, I mean, do we know how to fight against drones?
So we do, and that's an issue here, which is under the current conundrum of laws between the FAA, Federal Aeronautic Administration, DHS, which is in charge of infrastructure security, the FBI, which has drone interdiction and detection capability and authority, and then all of local law enforcement. Only the FBI is authorized to use that. So when you hear people saying, well, they should shoot them down, first of all, the complication is it's not illegal to fly a drone at night in New Jersey. So what are you shooting them down for? And second of all, the police aren't allowed to do that because the federal government, even at events like New Year's Eve in Times Square and other things where you'd say, if something with a payload came in, you'd want to take it out. They don't have that authority.
This is crazy. This is wild. We going to keep up on this, you know. But nah, that's wild. There's no answers. There's just a whole bunch of questions. I'm kind of upset that I looked into this because now I'm just questioning a lot more than I barely even knew. I hate stuff like there's never no answers. There's nothing but just a whole bunch of questions, bro. Just a whole bunch of questions. I never get the answers that I want.